I want you to know that right here, right now, today, right where you are, the Lord is with you. He loves you. He cares about you, his daughter. Nothing can separate you from his love. Hey there, lovely folks. I am MMA McDaniel, and I am so grateful, and my heart is just so full to welcome you to the Have You Heard podcast. Guys, we are talking all things post-grad, finding community, the beauty of transition and all of the fun and difficult things and questions that come with that. And I'm really excited about it because I'm actually in that. So I really pray that it just relates to those of you who are going through it too, or for those of you who have yet to go through it, it helps prepare you to go through it well and encouraged. So without further ado, grab your headphones and let's get into the word. Y'all, post-grad is so sweet, and I feel like there are different experiences that each of us have, just because depending on whether or not you have a job, or you know what your next step is, or you're moving back to a familiar city, or you're moving to a completely new one, or if you're staying with your college community, or you're moving away from what used to be your day-to-day community. There are different experiences that we all have, but regardless, we're all going through a transition. And so for me personally, I moved back. Me and Josh both graduated in May, and I moved back to my, I guess you could say, hometown. I moved to Arkansas whenever I was in high school, and so that's where my family still lives. And so I moved back to Arkansas. And to be so honest with you, I don't know if y'all ever felt this way, but I was really excited about the idea of going to a place I hadn't yet lived with Josh, because to me it seemed like a place with a lack of familiarity was what adventure was going to be. Like, if me and Josh went to a place we had never been, we met, got plugged into community we had never known, all of these new things, then we would be on this adventure because there wasn't a lot of familiarity. And we prayed a lot and went and traveled to different towns to see where it was that we were going to move, and even met up with a realtor at one point just to look at houses in a town. And me and Josh sat down together and realized, yep, I really think we're supposed to be going back to Arkansas. And it just made sense. I could literally list off such a long list of pros about coming back to Arkansas, from family to community to church to the town and the area, and it's growing and all the fun things to do, and it just was beautiful. But the one con that made me a little sad was like, but I've been there. Like, I went to high school there. Like, is it going to be an adventure? Because I'm familiar with a lot of it. And the day that we decided that, I honestly just had a heavy heart that day. I was like, man, okay, that's not really what I was expecting. But I think what's really cool is about a day later, so it was literally just a day, I was filled with so much excitement about coming back to Arkansas, even more excitement than us talking about any other place that we would possibly have moved. And I realized that adventure is not in familiarity or lack thereof, but it's in obedience to God. And yes, we're coming to a familiar place where we may know the street names, and our family is here, and there may be things that are we know the back of our hand, but there's still so much adventure, not just because we're being obedient to God and to follow him is an adventure, but because we've never been married living in Arkansas. We get to be with our family. There's a new season. We're doing ministry full time, and we're not in school anymore. There's so many new things, even in the midst of familiar things. And it has been such a blessing, and it's so cool how God just was so faithful to fill my heart with excitement for where he was leading us to be. And so all that to say, I've been in post-grad transition for just about 3 months. And so in this episode, I'm not really talking from a place of like back in the day. I'm saying I'm in the day and I'm figuring it out too. And I hope that just my personal experiences and what I'm learning and what I'm doing, I hope that it encourages you. And if that resonated with you, that you're going back to a familiar place and it feels like you're not going on this big adventure because there's a lot of it around there, a lot of what's around you you're familiar with, I just want to encourage you to lean in, because the Lord, he's a Lord of adventure. He is so good and he's so fun, and what he has in store for us, it withholds no good thing, because he's a good father who gives good gifts, and the life that he has for us is abundant. And even if it didn't look like exactly how you thought it would, ask him. Just lean into him in prayer and ask him what it is he's wanting to show you, and trust him with all of your heart, not leaning on your own understanding, because man, it's just so good. Friend, I am so excited to tell you about this awesome paid sponsorship that I'm getting to do with Faithful Counseling. Speaking from experience, I truly believe that counseling is a means by which we can learn to live out the freedom that we already have through Christ. It's a safe place to process. It's a safe place to call out the lies that we've been believing and replace them with the truth of God's word. Friend, you were not made to go about life alone. Faithful Counseling is a worldwide, online, available counseling service that is convenient and accessible via instant messaging, phone calls, or even video chat. Through Faithful Counseling, you can meet with professional licensed counselors who have over 3,000 hours of practice in their respective state. Using the link provided below, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling. That's faithfulcounseling.com/MMA/. You were made to walk in freedom. You were not designed to operate out of a place of shame. And there are people willing and able to walk alongside you and help you experience this reality for yourself. Want to make delicious, wholesome meals but don't really have the time to prep? Well, Green Chef may be just for you. Green Chef, which is owned by HelloFresh, has exciting new ingredients, recipes, and delicious meals to support a healthy lifestyle while not sacrificing the taste. You can elevate your dinner experience with their Fall's Finest collection, a curated selection of farmstead favorites, fresh seasonal ingredients, and premium proteins. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef is the only meal kit that is both carbon and plastic offset. They offset 100% of their carbon footprint, as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. I personally have loved the zucchini flatbreads with hummus, the Asian edamame dish, the quesadillas. They're all so good. I haven't had a bad meal. So you can go to greenchef.com/Emma135 and use code Emma135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes. And your first box ships free. Again, you can go to greenchef.com/Emma135 and use code Emma135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes. And your first box ships for free. So me and Josh, we have moved to Arkansas. We are in our townhome we're renting, which has been really fun figuring out like creative ways to decorate a rented home. So like if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see we're in our new podcast studio, and we have changed this up probably 3 or 4 times. And I think that I've found my favorite. Like, I think this is my favorite position of the couch. This is my favorite position of the lamp. And I'm just so thankful. But I mean, you should have seen me and Josh in the process of the peel and stick wallpaper and slowly but surely getting things hung up on walls. It's been a joy. It's been a real joy. And right now, regarding community and who we're doing life with on the day-to-day basis, it's family, which is such a blessing. Like my mom and my dad and my brother live here, and pretty much all of Josh's family lives here. And Josh's dad is the pastor of our local church here. And so we automatically had a church to get plugged into, which is awesome. But I wanted to bring that up because if you are in Post-Grad and you're like, okay, I really want to get plugged into community, want to find godly people to do life with, but I don't really know how to do that. It seems like such an intimidating and grand task to conquer. And I want to encourage you to get plugged into your local church that is founded on biblical truth and get plugged into a life group. There's such richness in that while we don't neglect to meet together as some are in the habit of doing. And we get plugged in and meet people who are running the race that's been set before them, who want to grow in the Lord, and we surround ourselves with those people. And I think that's just one way to be intentional, and it's a essential way. But other ways to be intentional to get plugged into community, and I say this to you as I'm challenging myself to do it too. One idea that I have not yet done it but would really love to is to bake cookies and take them to my neighbors. Whether we're taking our new puppy out on a walk, or I'm coming home from workout or the grocery store or wherever I was going, and I see people that are sitting outside their house, or they're walking their dog too, being intentional just to say hello. And if a conversation strikes up, awesome. Or whether I'm in the grocery store, just my day-to-day run-ins, or if I'm working out in the mornings, my workout class, I go Monday through Friday every morning. And so how cool is it to not just get in and get out, but to engage with the people I'm working out with, to learn their names, to hear how they're doing, where they're at in life, and just connect with people. And that's something that I'm really practicing doing. And so I just want to encourage you. Those are just some intentional ways, and I'll repeat those. Just bake cookies for your neighbors. Be intentional to strike up conversation in the grocery store, at your workout class, just walking in your neighborhood, and join a small group. Get plugged into your local church. That's a biggie, a biggie. And while I was thinking on all of this, I just had a thought that really encouraged me. So I thought I'd share with you all. And that is, there's sweet community waiting outside of our comfort zone, but I will never experience it if I stay in my comfort zone. There's so much beauty that's found when we step out of our comfort zone. It's oh, but I'm just nervous. Are they going to think I'm weird? How are they going to respond? I'm just afraid. I think that there's so much beauty whenever we step out in boldness and just say, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. And so this is my challenge to you and to myself. And another thing that I want to encourage you in regarding community is pray. I think sometimes we talk about prayer a lot, and we think about things a lot and talk about things a lot, but to actually go to the Lord in prayer can sometimes be really neglected. Talk to the Lord about how you really want to have community in this new season, maybe in a new place, don't know lots of people, maybe at a new job, don't know lots of people there. Pray and ask the Lord to bring people into your life that love Him. And also be patient, because sometimes it can be super easy to step into a new space. And if you're like me, my friends from college are still my best friends, and we Marco Polo and text all the time, and I can't wait until I get to travel and see them in the places all over the country that they now live. But if it can be hard to be with your best friends in college, and you're doing day-to-day life together, and then all of a sudden you graduate, you toss your hat, and then it's the next time you see them is a trip that you planned, and you're in a new place where you don't know many people, and it's easy to step into that new place and maybe even subconsciously expect to meet people that you're gonna become best friends with exactly how and in the time span that you did the last group of of people and want that depth and that connection, when sometimes, a lot of times, that takes time. It takes patience. And so just be encouraged that establishing community and friendship is a process, but it's a process that's worth it. Sometimes it's like you meet somebody and you connect right away, and other times it's like, yeah, this is just taking a while. And another thing that I really wanted to encourage y'all in, just regarding community and post-grad and just the difficulty of transitioning into a new season with the unknowns. And it's like, okay, I don't know what this is going to look like. And it's hard to feel out of control almost just because of all of the unknowns and the uncertainty of I really want to know what the future holds. And it's like, am I living out my purpose? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I want to encourage you to look back and take note of how faithful God has been in the past, in past transitions in your life. Because whenever I'm looking forward, I'm able to look forward in hope and joy and confidence whenever I'm intentional to remember how God has been with me in the past and I'm trusting that He's with me right now. Yeah, that doesn't change the fact that I don't know what the future holds, but I am at peace knowing that it's good because my God is faithful. He's been faithful to me, and He's going to continue to be, because He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And me personally, I grew up moving a lot, and something that I look back on that I'm encouraged in is when I was moving from Alabama to Arkansas. So this was the summer between my 9th and 10th grade year, and it was the hardest move out of all of them for me growing up, because I had been in Alabama for 2 years, 8th and 9th grade, met incredible friends, and then was about to go to a school of 4,500 kids, didn't know a single one of them, a community I didn't know, was 8 hours away from where I was moving from, and I was so scared. I was so scared that I wasn't going to make friends. I was so scared of what people were going to think of me. I felt lonely, and it was one of those things where I knew that God was good, and I knew that He was faithful to provide, and I knew that He had gone before me, because He would never lead me to a place He hadn't already gone before me and been there. But still, in the midst of that, I felt lonely and I felt afraid. But then when I look back in the midst of feeling that way, I see how God was so good and kind to provide. He took our family to a new place, new territory, totally unfamiliar, and He provided us with the people that we needed every single day. And as I looked to Him, instead of being filled with fear about my circumstances and focused on myself and what people thought of me and if they were going to like me, and I turned my focus to the Lord, I was able to be filled with confidence, and I was excited to meet people, and I was excited about the new place that I was in because I knew my God was with me in that new place. And it encourages me now in this new season me and Josh are in to know that, like, yeah, we're in a season we've never been in before, but when I look back at seasons I walked through and they were new to me at that time, God was faithful to me in those, so He's going to be faithful to me here. And so I want to encourage you that as you're transitioning, and whatever that transition is looking like for you right now, I challenge you to look back and remember how God has been faithful to you, how He's provided for you, how He's put your boundary lines in pleasant places, how He has given you a beautiful inheritance, how He has proven Himself to be good, how He's proven Himself to be trustworthy. And let that fill you with hope. He is the source of hope. So let that fill you with hope as you look forward to this unknown, uncertain time. Philippians 4:19 says that my God is faithful to supply all of your needs according to His glorious riches in Christ Jesus. Friend, you are so valuable to God, and He cares about you. He cares about you, so cast your cares on Him. This is honestly like such a fun episode because I'm really just talking with you as I'm walking through what I'm talking about, which is so fun. It's so sweet. Like, yes, like me and Josh, we've been doing podcasts, and yes, I've been writing and speaking, and doing this ministry since I was like 17 years old, but I've always done it while in school. I've always done it while also writing papers and preparing for math exams and getting ready for the ACT and getting ready for finals and all those things. And now it's like, whoa, like our day to day is this ministry, and I love it. But I've had times where I sat down with Josh and I'm like, okay, I trust God, but I'm feeling a little scared just because never been in the season before. So just know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone, but be encouraged that the Lord says, don't fear, for I'm with you. Don't be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You're worried about what your purpose is, if you're living it out, if you're in the right job. Be encouraged that your purpose is to go into all the world and tell people about the good news of Jesus Christ. Make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to do all that He has commanded, knowing that He is with you to the end of the age and that all authority has been given to Him. Your purpose is to love God and love people. So keep loving God and loving people. Keep seeking Him. Keep being faithful to Him in the unique way that He's called you to live out that purpose that doesn't change. He will reveal to you. He will show you through what you're passionate about, through opportunities that open up, through ways that He affirms you, through the gifts that He's given you by the kindness of His Spirit. Be encouraged. Live out your purpose of loving God and loving people, and trust that God is faithful. He's going to put you exactly where you need. He will lead you on level ground, teaching you to do His will. Isn't that comforting? I don't know about you, but that just makes me want to take a deep breath and just go, yeah, God, you take care of the flowers that grow in the field. They don't worry about how they're going to grow at all. You take care of the birds that fly in the air. They don't worry about what they're going to eat or where they're going to sleep at night at all. And yet you care for them. And I trust, because you say so, that I'm much more valuable than the flowers. I'm much more valuable than the birds, that you would take care of me, your daughter. And I want the same for you. That even in the midst of unknowns, whether you're in a really familiar place or in an unfamiliar place, whether you're where you thought you were going to be or you're not, your expectations may have shifted. I want you to know that right here, right now, today, right where you are, the Lord is with you. He loves you. He cares about you, His daughter. Nothing can separate you from His love. I love how He told His people in Jeremiah 29:11 that He had plans to prosper them and not to harm them, plans to give them a hope and a future. And that's still the same today. He's working all things together for the good of those who love Him and who are called according to His purpose. So friend, take a deep breath. Be present today. Work wholeheartedly unto the Lord, loving Him and loving people, knowing that He's with you. And that you're not going through it alone. Me and Josh are going through Post-Grad, finding community, learning to be intentional in creative ways with you. Isn't that fun? We're getting to do it together. I love you so, so, so much. Oh, and I actually wrote this down and I wanted to read it to you. It was the last thing that I wrote down while I was reflecting on this episode. And I simply wrote, be on guard that laziness, fear, or comparison doesn't blind you from what precious gift is right in front of you. That's my little nugget of encouragement at this grand finale of the episode. Laziness, like putting off initiating conversation, putting off making the most of today. Fear, being totally consumed with worry about what people are thinking, or fear of uncertainty of tomorrow, or comparison. The season you're in doesn't look like the one you just got out of. Getting caught up in those thought patterns can blind you from the precious gift that's right in front of you, the season you're in, the people that are in front of you, the opportunities that are waiting for you. If any of those identify with you, the laziness, the fear, the comparison, take that to the Lord and ask Him to help you. He's not giving you a spirit of fear or timidity, but power, love, and a sound mind. And He has you right where He needs you. So be faithful there and know that I'm being faithful where He has me with you. I love y'all. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure and give a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below how you were encouraged. And also, if you are tuning in via Apple or Spotify, be sure and download, rate, review, share it with your people, especially your people who are going through post-grad and figuring out how to find community and just need an encouragement, need some practical tips on how to go about it well. And yeah, guys, y'all are wonderful. I'll talk to y'all next week. Wait, guys, I almost forgot. So I mentioned briefly that me and Josh was walking our puppy, and he's here, and I want to show you. If you're on YouTube, you can see our puppy. Oh, guys. This is Remington. We call him Remy for short. He's very sleepy. He's been hanging out all day while we record podcasts. I hope this also makes you smile. Me and Remy love you.